Hello everyone and welcome to a new Vital Bracelet Digital Monster video. This time we're going to be looking at some of the recently available to pre-order DiMs. So we've got the Mad Black Roar and True Shadow Howl, and I'm also going to be trying out a bit of a new setup that I have now that I've moved. So first of all, let's look at these new DiMs. So we can see that these are Mad Black Roar and True Shadow Howl. So these are the full retail release of the Black Roar and Shadow Howl DiMs that we previously saw as trial DiMs. And straight away we can see that, and this is something I'm very, very happy about, is the fact that these DiM designs are actually different from the trial DiMs. So we have Blackwall Greymon on the cover of this instead of Metal Greymon Virus, and instead of Shadow Wear Garurumon we have Black Metal Garurumon. So that's pretty cool, and we can also see that the DiM card itself is different as well as the plastic. So the DiM card has black and yellow for Mad Black Roar and black and orange for True Shadow Howl. So this is fairly cool because that means that if you are someone who has a trial DiM, either from getting it as a pre-order bonus for Black Roar or for winning the giveaway for Shadow Howl or buying them from a reseller, that means that you don't have to worry about your trial DiM basically being indistinguishable from the full retail release. And because they have different names, I'm going to assume that in the app, when you scroll through all the DiMs in the dictionary, that this will be another additional entry for that. So it means that if you're a collector or if you just have those trial DiMs, it doesn't mean that you're basically just like, that was just a temporary thing and now that there's a full version, it's basically worth nothing. So it's kind of nice to have that bit of the ability to distinguish between the two is really nice. And because I also have I have both trial DiMs, it means that I can have both in my collection and they look different from each other, so I'm a big fan of that. But another thing that I'm pleased about is that the roster is just really great. So let's take a quick look at the roster. So first up we have the Mad Black Roar roster. So we have a good selection of dinosaur Digimon in this, which I'm fairly happy about. We have Monochromon, who evolved into Vermilionmon, which is just another great colour variation. I'm glad that they have them on, they're kind of like facing away from each other. They're like flipped images and just recoloured because they're identical otherwise except for the colour. And it's another thing that the VB itself does pretty well because it's got a colour screen. Previously you can't really tell between colour variants. For the longest time I thought that Red Vegiemon on the version 2 Digimon Original was actually Vegiemon. That's not the case, but you know what? I can't tell. Who's to say? They look exactly the same. And with the colour screen, we can actually have these colour variants. Like, I kind of fully expect Bandai to just release DiMs that are just colour variants, and everything's the same except different colours. I'd expect them to do that. And honestly, I thought that the Black Roar was just going to be just a colour swapped variant of the Agumon DiM that we've already had, and same for the Gabumon one, but it's not. We've got a nice variant of Digimon here. So we've got Ultras mode, which is pretty cool to see. We've got X-Tyrannomon, always happy to see X-Tyrannomon. We've got Victory Greymon, we've got Gaiomon, we've got Zwart, which was also in the DiM, the trial DiM. So we've got a nice selection of dinosaur Digimon here, which I feel like fits really well. I'm a big fan of this roster. However, the True Shadow Howl roster I definitely like more. So let's take a look at that one. So first of all, you can see why I like this more, because we have Drumogimon, who is probably one of my favourite Digimon designs ever. I have a huge, like, nostalgia love and adoration for Drumogimon because of the first Digimon World game, where he's just in the drill tunnel and he's just like, we dig all the time, and there's a chef one, and it's just, it's great. I love Drumogimon, and I'm just really happy to see, like, I've even got the Gacha series, and I've got Drumogimon, and he's, like, definitely my favourite of the Gachas. Like, you can probably barely see him because he's tiny, but I love Drumogimon. Adorable Digimon. We've also got Darulamon, who I also have a figure of, which is somewhere here. I think you can probably... Oh, there he is. You can probably just see him there. Love Darulamon. Didn't mind Cross Wars in general. I thought it was fine. It was definitely a show. I liked it. And so yeah, great to see Darulamon. Of course, we also have the Garurumon Black and the Wagrurumon. That was a weird pronunciation. Where Garurumon Black or Shadow version. And we have Metal Garurumon Black, of course. But we also have Z Garurumon. We have Kuberismon. We have Sagittarius mode. We have Rhinomon. We have Pandamon. We have I always say Mercurymon and Mercurymon, I get confused, even though one's like the mirror guy and one's the wolf lion man. But anyway, great roster, particularly because Dromogimon is here and also Darulamon. I'm going to have to choose between which one I want to raise first. I'll probably just flip a coin over it because I just love them both so much. And of course, weirdly we have normal Garurumon as well. I think we had normal Greymon there, and that is because we needed a Digimon to evolve into Ultras mode and Sagittarius mode. So we don't have normal Wagrurumon and normal Metal Greymon. We have their special colon modes on that, so that's nice to see as well. So yeah, these just came up for pre-order basically the other day, like they just came up, so you can pre-order them now until May 31st. I think it was like Friday they came up for pre-order. And they are releasing in September. So if you want to pre-order that and you don't live in Japan, you can pre-order it from Japan, as I showed in a video I released the other week rather. I've moved recently and time is weird, which is just grabbing that URL and putting it into From Japan. But watch the video if you haven't already, and I sort of give a rundown on how to do that. So yeah, that's super exciting. And on to the next part of this video, which I'm not 100% how I'm going to get this to work. So, I mean, I think I know how to get it to work, but I'm hoping that it works like I think it will. So, if all of a sudden this video ends, it's because I didn't set up properly, or it just didn't work. So, let's give that a go. So, I am going to be showing off my new tiny light box with my different camera that's not my phone. And I'm going to move the webcam just a little bit this way and hopefully not unplug it. That's the aim anyway. So, here we have my DiM, or my VB, and I'm currently running Metal Greymon. So this is the Black Raw DiM, the trial one, and it's currently in adventure mode because that's just kind of what I keep them in now to rank up the battles, especially because the Black Raw DiM is kind of hard. Like with the other DiMs, you can grind battles really easily because when you hold your phone to it, typically you'll get like maybe that level, if not like the level below it. But because the roster is obviously so small in the Black Raw DiM, you only get to battle like 4 different Digimon, and most of the time it's Black Raw Greymon, even if you're training as an Agumon. So yeah, that's not particularly fun. So let's put in the Ancient Warriors DiM, and I'm always scared when I put in a DiM because I haven't done it that much, but I am consistently concerned that I'm just going to break it, so I have to be very careful, and I'm going to pop that in. I'm not going to touch it because I have fears. I haven't lost this little piece yet, which is honestly surprising. So I'm putting in the Ancient Warriors DiM, and this is where I put all my DiM cards at the moment. A little Sobble pouch, which is very cute. So yeah, I haven't started many DiMs. I've kind of just been rotating between the Pulsemon that came on the app, the Vmon that was the first one I hatched, which became an Imperialdramon Dragon mode, and then I have the fully evolved Pulsemon from the app, which is, I think I just said Pulsemon, but I meant he's now the fully evolved form, the Mega form, and he lives on the app again now. But then I also have the Black Raw one, which is I'm struggling with. It is a little bit harder for the reasons I mentioned before, as it's a little bit harder to grind with. So I basically keep it in Dragon mode, because I just realised this is in mute, and I'm also still wearing another watch. Whoopsies. I'll take it off my Fitbit. Alright, so I'll put on the VB. But yeah, so I keep them in adventure mode for Black Raw because it's easier to grind if I have that in adventure mode, because typically don't find as many Black Hawk Greymons that way. Alright, so I've put that on, and it's now the baby form of Vmon, and it's on mute because I had it on mute because it is in battle mode and every so often, but not the... I always tap that one. Now I have to wait for the app part to calm down. But anyway, I have it in mute typically because for work, because I keep it in adventure mode every few, like 500, 1000 or 2000 steps or what have you, it just decides that it's time to make a lot of noise, so I keep that on mute. It detects steps a lot when I'm just typing, and I work in IT, so I type a lot. I use my hand a lot, and it logs steps that way. Not so much with the actual Fitbit that I have, that only registered legitimate steps. This one does not. Okay, so it's back on this one. I'm not sure how well this is turning up on camera. Probably not very good at all. So let's go turn the sound on. And I'll probably take it for a walk soon before I record the podcast for this week. So there, now we have a little baby. And basically I just have to wait until that evolves, which... I don't know why the baby forms are in this. It feels kind of weird, especially because they're so long. You can't really do much until it's a child. And yeah, you can't do any of the missions, you can't do any of those exercises, and the vital points don't matter because you're evolving to the same Digimon. You always will evolve to the same child Digimon for each DiM. And it's kind of weird that it takes so long. Maybe if there was one stage, that's fine, but it's just because there's two. And they take several hours, but yeah, it just feels kind of weird, especially because nothing happens. But yeah, so now I have my little baby, and I'll be aiming for All-Force Veedramon this time because it's for that hatch that I started the other day. And I'm raising another All-Force because I love All-Force, and I didn't get to have All-Force last time. Anyway, so that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I hope that my new setup isn't too terrible. Hope that worked. Fingers crossed it doesn't look terrible. So thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Bye!